Okay, it's live and I'm really not ready. Okay, I'm at 12:33 a.m. Had it going to step out for a bit. See you in a few. Okay, this must have been yesterday, and I'm not very proud of myself because 3 times I put that I was going to be here and I didn't show up. So I said 7:44 and now it's 8:30. So I'm not really sure which way to go. Sometimes I'm in my zone, sometimes I'm out of my zone. Am I looking for an excuse? I don't know. I can't put a name or a word for excusing myself, and I can't put a word onto me knowing now and not knowing later. But when I do remember, it's always the same. I go over the same patternization that bringing everything together through words. What I mean, I don't even know where to start. Okay, let me say it this way. Why would I say has any value? Why should whatever I do have any value? Why should the letter T being first in a word have any value? Should the first two or three or four words in a sentence have a value? Do all sentences end with a period? Do all periods remind you of cycles and maxi pads and mini pads? And you know she's over 13 because if she's picking them up and she's having her period, we're going by the cycle of the moon, right? Some people say it's not. Some people say it's man's moon. It's the menstrual, right? It's the woman. So we also during my project, I tried to decorticate, which I say is like Discord, on why they use man inside the word woman. Why are we adding woman? How did Adam get the rib? Don't forget, rib is 3 letters, so I don't look at it the same. For me, it's 3 letters. I already know it's Venus. Venus is connected, and if Venus is connected, we already know that Neptune is connected. I also know that they show us a Neptune fork. Have you ever seen the Neptune fork? The barb on it, the center barb shows 2 sides. The outside barb shows that it's coming. Is it going to the outside or to the inside? So we have to understand and decorticate everything that has ever been mentioned in a word, even if it's silly. April 1st, April Fool's Day. It just so happens that on April 1st, it's the 91st day. If I had to do something, I mean, if I had to speak, 91 equals spirits. Flip that, 61 equals the church. Now, why am I mentioning all this? Is that everything that has ever been created, if we can categorize and put with what where is, okay, we can understand the story that it's telling. Remember, it's just the story. Believe that the story is being told by the truth of the reality of the existence of these objects, the deck of cards, the set of dice. They call a singular dice a die. It's only to die for. The dogs are going a little nuts. The numbers 1 through 9. When do we count 0? When is 0 counted? When do we mark 0? When the ball misses everything? When the run isn't scored? When do we mark 0? Before the game began? Does 0 have a hole in it? Is 0 a solid or a stripe? 0, the easiest way for me for 0, 0 is going to go with number 7. 7 goes with 6 and 9. Why? 7, okay. The 5 area, right? The 5 area, how am I can't believe I don't have a dice with me. But the area 5, they only use 7 areas on a dice cube. They never use more than 7 areas on a dice cube. If you would be drilling all the holes all the way through a dice cube, right? They'll never use more than 7. Let me see if I have a dice cube and see if I can get back on track, because I just went off a little bit off track, and I don't want to forget. Well, I got one. I got one. I got one right over here. So you see this number 6 over here? When I turn it around, there's going to be a center. If I drill through there, it'll show up in the center, and that'll be 7. There's no other dice. Every other dice, when you drill it, except for the 1, will show up as 5. The only difference of this and the reverse 3 on the other side is the 1 in the center. So we have 4 sides of 5, okay, and we have 2 sides of 7. We also have to understand when we're working with a star, we're going to either get a star as, wow, how can I hold up this camera and do this? We're going to show you the, hold on. Here's the stars. This one and this one are not the same. There are 2 lines the same here as here, and then 1 line different. Call that 6 directions or 3 lines. This one, you have the plus sign that we don't have here. We have both of these here, here. And then we have 1 crossing of the multiplication sign. And then we have the opposite here. So there's 4 of these hexagon that comes from 1 octagon, the 8 and the 6. The 8 and the 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6, 6 and 8. That is the closest to the center of this cube, with 7 on the outside and 0.5, or the letter E, that separates it. 0.5 between the 3 and the 4. It is a 0.5 E separation. When you go to the number 3, when you go to the number 1, it's the 1 and the 6, which is a 2.5 separation, and you can probably call that the Y or B and E. The reason for that is we're 2.5 away from 3.5, and here we're minus 2.5. And note that in the word minus is the same thing as saying nus, or how about sun? Mi and then sun. Mi together in Roman numerals will be 1001. If I put that 1001 up against binary code, I will get 1 and 8. 8 and 1 will come together like an 1881, or 9 and 9, a perfect number. 18 and 81 comes from the most you can ever get, and that's 9 and 9 create 1881. So I'm trying to think of what I was talking about 2 seconds ago. I'm really upset. If somebody can remind me. When you get someone like me, probably 00, thou, like Tammy Whammy or something. Now, what would 00 and single 0 be? Well, for me, if I don't know what the answer is, I'm going to make something up. So 2 zeros, right, will be 64 times 2 equals 128. I already know that I have to figure out something on how to use memory in computers. Yes, I was talking about April 1st as being the 91st day. Now, since there's no mathematical multiplication for 91, there is a multiplication to get close to 91. If I remember correctly, I think the multiplication of that would be 71 without going over. No, 80 would be from 88. So we're missing 11. 89 will remain 89, so we're not going to do that. I like to go that 91 is 10 away from 81. 9 times 9 plus 10. The 9 and 1 equals to 10. So April 1st is 13 times 7 equaling to 91. Now, where I found this figure of 13 and 7 is in the Mayan calendar. If you look at the Mayan calendar of their grindstone, I don't have it on me, right? There's going to be an area of 13 and then another area of 7 equaling to a total of 20. When you, just give me 1 second. When you go around the numbers on this phone, you're going to see the 1634257, which is the reversed cube. And then when you see the opposite side, you're going to see the 9413, the 7 and 613, the 2 and 5 8. So you're going to see what is a cross and a line. And as you go around this, it's going to say 7 9 11 13, 7 9 11 13, or 7 9 2 4, 7 9 2 4. 7924, or 7 9 11 and 13. That's what it's going to do. I play when you play chess, you get to move a 1 over and then 2 down, or 2 over and 1 down. So if I start at 1 and I go 2 over and 1 down, I get 6. So call that 7. If I take 2 and go 1 over and 2 down, I have 11. If I take 3 and go 2 down and 1 over, I have 11. So right away, we're going to see what we got. First, we got 7, then we got 11, then we got 11. Then we're going to take 6, we're going to go 1 down, and we come over, we get 13. We're going to take 9, we're going to go 2 over, and then we're going to get 13. So what we got, if you remember, is we got 7, 11, 11, 13, 13. Now we're going to take 8 over here, 1 over, 2 up, we're going to get 9. So now we got 7, 11, 11, 13, 13, and then 9. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go 7. And then we're going to go up and over to the 2. We're going to get 9. And then we're going to take this 4, right? We're going to go up 1 and over here, and we got 3. And then we've started all over again. So here's our first, right? Here's our 7 over here. We went down over here. We made an 11. And then over here, we made a 7. That's part of this setup. This is every single face, and there are 6 faces that are going to do the same thing. So you're going to end up with 7, 9, 11, 13. Whoop, it was 11. I think it was 11, 11. 7, 9, 11, 11, 13, 13. And then we're going to hit, let me see what we're going to do with this now. Let me just see for myself. Hold on. Phone's upside down. It's this here. That was 13. That was 13. That's 9. Then this one is. Then we get another 9. Then we got 7. Then we get 7. And then we get 11. Okay, so the cycle goes 7, 9, 11, 11, 13, 13, 9, 9, 7, 7. So there's another thing here. I wanted to also show something. This is, like, for me, it's pretty freaky to see this, and I'm not sure if you can understand. I'd like to know if anybody's here, if they know exactly where I am with this counts. Regardless of this, okay, April 1st is the 91st day. In the deck of cards, there are 13 cards in a suit. When you add up 1 to 13, okay, it equals to 91. That average is 7. When you use 13 times 7 is 91, 13 and 7 equals to 20, equals to a total of 111. The center of 360 is 111. The center to 360, 7 by 13 equals to 91. 7 plus 13 is 20. 20 and 91 is 111. When you add up 16, 17, 18, it equals to 51. When you add up 19, 20, 21, it equals to 60. You use 6 numbers out of 36 numbers. So you went 1 to 15 equals to 120. Then you went 16 over to 21 equals to 111. And then you went 22 over to 36 equaling to 435. 4, 5, 6, 660. It would be 666. Right over here. The game of pool is going to equate to this number. If I'd be counting backwards, right? If I'd be counting backwards, I go 36, 35, etc., right? So if I wanted to realign something on 360, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? If I want to realign something, the center of my realignment, regardless, will always total 111. For example, if I want to realign the alphabet, in which 1 through 26, okay, equals to a total of 351. If I align the alphabet into 36 areas as per the 26 alphabet of shapes and the 10 shapes from numbers, totaling 36, when I add up 1 to 36, okay, it equals to 666. The center of the 666 is 111. The center of the alphabet I've never done, okay, but I will do it now. I want to see what the core of the alphabet is. That would be 13 and 14, 12 and 15, 11 and 16. So I'm going to go 11, 12, 13 equals to 36, and 14, 15, 16 equals to 45. 45 and 36 equals to 81. That's Venus, 9 times 9, Ra, the sun god. 3 times 81, 243, the beast. 9 times the birth of the beast is 243. The void is 234. I know this might come to a little surprise. I'm going to explain to you that in a minute. The male sex organ is 63. The female sex organ is 54. Love in the sun is 54. Both 9 times 6 and 9 times 5. Very important, I believe. 9 times 6, 9 times 5 equals 45 equals to 54. Now, the reason for this is because this cube, right, the 5 and 2 equal to 7, and the 6 and 1 equal to 7, that the reverse of these two, okay, 1 and 2, is 3, and that's your base creation of 7 and 11. This cube reverse, you see these areas here, the space that you don't see anything, and the space you don't see anything? Well, that space you don't see anything has something over here, because they voided it out, omitted. They omitted. We omit it on the Bible that this is the die, right? We have a pair die, so we omit. So every single side of this will always be valued at 9. You have 6 times 9 is 54. This is the sun cube. This is the sun cube. Two systems coming together. So when we divided up that alphabet, the core of the alphabet is 81, and that's going to represent square. It's also going to represent Venus. The 81 is a very special number. In fact, everything to do with 8 is more special than any other number. The 8, okay, in French is used with 18. But when they say it, they say 18. When they say 17, they'll say 17. And when they say 19, okay, they'll say 19. But although they're saying 18, when it comes to the 80s, they will use the 8 as an 88, but they will not use a 10-8 in the 80s. It's separate. As well, when you come to the usage of the 18, it's when you get to 18, when you get to 21, you've completed your first and last in the same area. The reason for this is how they speak. First and 21st. So we've enclosed an area. We stopped. The thing about this is that when we count first, we say first. Doesn't happen until 21st. And second, okay, does not happen until 22nd. And third does not happen till 23rd. Now, after that, there's a separation. when you come to fourth. No longer silver, no longer gold, no longer bronze. Now it's fourth. The thing about fourth is it doesn't just happen at 24th. It starts again at 24. But the ABC calculation, A1, B2, C3 equaling to 6F, you have first, second, and third, and then you have fourth. But the continuation of that ending continues all the way until you get to 19th, then 20th, 20th, IETH, and then we started 21st again. So the TH, okay, is the biggest category of numbers. And there's more than one separation. There's multitudes of separation. There's multitudes of separation with different reasons. How do I get this camera to point down? I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to write it out here that so what we get over here is when you add up A, B, C, D, we ended up at 10. 10J. 1 plus 0 is 1. What have we done by going to here? We flipped over the numbers. We started again. On the fourth one, it starts again. In this area over here, it flips over to the other side. Titanium, steel, void, love the sun, Venus. I'm gonna have to get myself a glass of water. So you can see once we go to here. Now the thing is this is only part of this. This is the base of this. Your 60 minutes, 60 seconds runs over here. Of the 100% of time, it's a split. We're not just A, B, C, D. We're also what is D, C, B 33. 4, 3, 2 equals to 9. 4 times 3 times 2 equals to 24, and 9 equals to 33. When you have 4, 3, 2, 1 times that equals to 24, and 10 equals to 34. So it shows you a direct separation between ABCD and DCB. This is our basic rotation. In 33, 33 is 6. 3 and 4 is 7. 3 and 3 is 6. Let me finish this off. ABC, okay, multiplied and added will both equal to 66, connecting two systems. This one is 9, going to be bringing into your birth, into your life. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3. This is your rotation in the sun. 9 times 6 and 9 times 5. And I mentioned that before. The 5 and 6 are different. You get 5 and 6 on 2 different cubes. The reverse side of 5 and 6 is 1 and 2, 3. I still didn't finish with April 1st. I'm going to get back to this, right? I'm going to get back to this. I'm going to explain to you April 1st. We're going to go to February 29th. We're going to go to the word fish. We're going to go to the April Fool. We're going to go to the value of the word April, in which we still didn't do. Eventually, we're going to get on to the zodiac signs. And what's funny about the zodiac signs, and I don't know if I lost it, but it starts off, where did I write this? I have to mention this. I just because I'm here and I'm looking, so many things I wrote and didn't write. I think it was the dragon. Yeah, I'm going to mention the dragon. The reason for this is because when I was doing the work, it just so happens that it started the number 1940 at the dragon, and I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? So that was the beginning here. Just like it's just a really bewildering that Aries is the first sign in the middle of the year, to where the middle sign comes out near October, which is Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and Hanukkah. You know, it's just like really, really weird. 1944, 1943, 1945, 42. Okay, so don't let me lose any of this. And it's funny the way they mentioned in the Chinese zodiac, they keep talking about the cat when most of the people, a lot of people say it's the rabbit. Just let me get something to drink. I'm going to be back. Just 1 second. You guys want to go out? Come out. Okay, go pee pee. You're okay? Yeah, dogs have to go out. Okay, so where were we with this? Let me just go back. So I want to get to when these word, and it could be true in this world, I don't know, but when the word spirit is created and start with an S, so an S usually when it's at the end of the word, it may explain more than one. When you write with an S, it's number 19. It's the only letter that when it gets reduced, it immediately hits the J letter, which is 10. When you hit the J letter, you're talking about bringing the interior system together, the BAD within the BC, right? The inside and the outside. We also have to understand that A is possibly from the other side of 360. One of the reasons for this is when you count down with last, which is first at 21st, because it's the beginning and the end. We both use ST. ST is gold, it's pliable, it's at the end and at the beginning. When you have it at the end at 21st, the ST on the next level goes down to 20th. Okay, it's immediately in the TH house. So it's ST and TH. When you count up, it's ST and ND, almost like saying the word stand. And what do I stand on? I stand on 17. If you have a dice cube, in order to stand on 17, you will have to have this up. And that would be your standing on 17. 314. It would be 314,685. What does that mean? The opposite of the 3 is the 4. The opposite of 1 is the 6. The voided area space of 1 that surrounds it is 8, and the area space that is within inside of 4, and also the one, the headless horseman in the center, right? Guided by the 6 spindle. You have to revert this, take it all apart, fragmentation, Rubik's Cube. 21 blackjack pays 1.5 times. Now, I'm going to go back to number 19. 19 by 19 is 361. It's on the other side. The average of 19 letters, okay, is 10, right? When you add up 1 over to 19, it equals to 190. When you add up 1 over to 18, it equals to 171. This is crazy because Mars and the sun comes together in this. But when I'm going to get back to when you have 81, it's the only number in French that they do not say DNA. They do not say NDA. They do not say and. The reason for this is exactly as I say. DNA in French is A and D in French, or the word and, which the and sign can be found on the 7 key of your keyboard, right? And it's like a backwards S with a line through it. When you say this, It doesn't matter. It's the three letters. The Lord, when eighth creates, it creates everywhere. It shoots it out. I created this. You go here. 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 Nothing went anywhere because all I did is write it out. I wrote it out, or I put it up into the web and I didn't connect anything yet. Right? We can write out the blueprints. 81 is 81. 8 is a special number. When you say eighth, I only need to add on the H, only another number 8. When I say 18, I only need to add on EEN, which totals to 24, right? You're going to divide a gate with that. But you don't have to add on the T44, splitting the day and the night. So you're not splitting the day and the night within the word teen, but you are splitting something to arrive at number 7. I'm going to explain it to you in 1 second. So another thing about this is when you say, we were speaking about 17, 18, 19, where 19, 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. Where 18, 1 plus 8 is 9. So, and we're 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. I just want to keep up to you when I'm not writing it at the same time. 17, 18, and 19. The difference between 17, 18, 19, when 17 is used at 77, or 18 is used at 78, or 19 is used at 79, you will be saying 60 plus 10 plus 7. When you say 77, you say 60 plus 10 plus 7. When you say 78, you say 60 plus 10 plus 8. When you say 79, you say 60 plus 10 plus 9. Now, although I showed it to you as 1 and 7, 8, 1 and 8, 9, 1 and 9, 1, the thing about this one, okay, over here, is that 19 is on the other side. 19 is either down here or up here, and 18 is down here or up here, but they're not in the same quadrant. 18 will be here and 19 will be here. This will be in the 147 primary group, right? While 18 will be in the third group, in the Bronze era, talking about the moon. This one is going to be the second area over here, talking about the sun. But if I was a child and looked at this 10 and 9, 10 and 8, 10 and 7, I might be writing 10 minus 7, 10 minus 8, 10 minus 9, equaling to 1A, 2B, 3C. Just like A, B, C. Now, I know there's a whole lot going on right now. I spoke about D, the way once you get to D and C, on the fourth one, the cube flips over. 1, 2, 3, the fourth one, the cube flips over. There's other times where it flips over only on the third one, but it's, anyways, let's just leave that out just in case somebody's a little advanced and remembers all this, right? You want to talk about 22 and 33, we could be talking about the ring to the total of the ring, 33 voids, 11, 11, 22, and 111 for the pole. The next part about this is going to be, and I'd really like to, I wish we can like do it that way or something. Let me, what did I do here? This is not good. Hold on a second. Oh boy, I'd really like you to be able to see this while I'm doing it. Maybe I can get a mirror and hold the mirror down or something. Not good. Anyways, let me see what I can do if I can point it down, if somebody can sort of keep up with me. Let's see. So what we're going to do here is that not only does it happen here, but when you're counting to 80, remember I said on the fourth element we switch over again, but when you count to 80, you don't say 60. Once you get to 60, it stops. Now you're adding on from 60. When you get to 70, you're adding on the 10 element. When you get to 80, you're going to say 420. 420 is a separation between at the seventh gate. The reason for that is 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 equals to 8 equals to 6. Another thing about this is 6 and 8. So when you go down and look for the odds at the casino, they will pay, okay, 7, okay, for a placement of 6 chips. You place 6 chips, you get 7. And it's the same payout for both the 6 and the 8. 101 away from 7, 101 away from 7. Now, if you were looking at binary code 101, it would be 401. And 401 or 104, even though it's a total of 5, it's AD and it's communication. The other thing about 6 and 8, when it happens on one cube, it expresses the E world. It's only 0.5 away from the center of this cube. That is 0.5. 0.5 representing E, and the reverse of what is 2 to 5, okay, 7 is B. But we're not going to talk about that right now. In fact, in order to create E, you need AB to create E. 1 times 2 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 2, okay, equal to 5. So you took AB to create E and ended up with BC. So you started with AB, got BC, and ended up with E. So we have to understand what our shift is. Let me see what this is. A lot of zeros here. So now again, 420, 420, 420. I want to explain why the communication. When you have 10, right? When you have 10, right? Whether it's a 6 and 410 or whether it's a 5 and 510, your inversion to that, okay, is going to be a 3 and 1 equaling to 4 and a 2 and 2 equaling to 4. So when you have 10-4, the CB codes are 10-4, and the payout for that are 9 pay, and then you have to 5 chips, and you put down 5 chips. So your birth into the E worlds. Now, your life and the gateway, 7-6, to your birth into the E worlds when your payout is 9 to 5, and that's when the spirit reaches that communication. And that happens when the spirit word is created at number 91. Or let's call that April Fool's Day, April 1st. That ironically, okay, that we come into life, I like to say the IT system, or we come into life, or love. What does love happen? Why should we say the sun? Valentine's Day. Valentine's number 102. It's February 14th. What's ironic is 14 and 15 days inside of February, which is N and O. N and O is the opposite side of the alphabet. The month divides at 14.5514, and we're going to say the Mars and the Sun IT system. I think February 25, 40, 44, 54, 64, 65, 75, 85, 96, right? I got it right. That February is 96, which is a 33 rotation. 3 times 3, 3 plus 3 equals to 96. But let me just see something. 6, 7, 8. It's an 88 and 8, 96. How do I do this? When I look at letters, when I look at games, I try to base the colors of the letters, the 26 letters, off of, let's say, roulette. Whether I shift the alphabet, like the alphabet shift, right, brings every letter up 5. So instead of A1, right, it'll now be A6, and it'll be Z31. So if I was to say the word Mars, which is 51, right, it'll then be 71. If I say the sun at 54, right, it'll then be the sun at 74, in which right now Jesus, energy, Muhammad is 74. If you want to know where the number is created, it's created from the two numeric values of 5 and 7, the male and the female. We still didn't get to the zodiac. If you want to participate and ask me any questions, what I do, let's get back to what happens now is that the 92nd day in a leap year is now April 1st. The 91st day happens on March 31st. 3, 1, 3, 9, 1. What is that combination? The electric moon. I like to call it the electric moon. There's more than that. The cycle of 313, or understanding what 13 is. That is it 1/3? Is it 31? Is it a total of 4? Is it ironic that the 4, which will turn into a 7, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals 3 and 4, 7? That the 3 will be 3 and 6, where the 1 will be 1 and 8. So you'll get 1, 8, 3, and 6. That is going to be my combination coming together for the reason that 1 and 6 is 7, and the void is 8 and 3. 8 and 3 will represent in numerically to the ring and the pole of this cube. Remember, 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 do not forget that this cube has 6 sides to it. We're not talking about the edges. We have 6 flats. There are a total of what you see. If you add 1 to 6, it equals to 21. But when it sits in the game, it does not count any other way. When it sits in the game, you will either get, 20 at the high, or you will get 15 at the low. The high side will be like this. If this 6 is up and the 3, 5, 3, 5, 2, 4 is around, you will have a total of 20. If the 1 is up and the 2, 3, 4, 5 is around 14, you will have 15. Everything else will be in between, right? This is the 2 by 2. Let's say the 6 has 2 ways to be created, either through the dot or through the void. 6 and 3, 3 dots, 6 void, to where we have 6 dot and 3 void, to where we have 5 dots and 4 void, to where we have 5 void and 4 dots. 3, 6, 4, and 5 are the only ones that are doubled on here. Now, 2015, very, very special. You can count 20, for the darts. And when you add 1 to 20, it equals to 210. When you count 1 to 15, it equals to 120. So crazy. Counting by 5s. Maybe we should talk to Joey. Does anybody know Joey? Just happened the other day. Joey, I didn't know you become so famous. Joey the dog. Hey, Joey, what's happening? Oh, and now we got 5 here in honor of Joey, because Joey is where we were going to put the energy of the word Jesus, Muhammad, because it fits in the 5 position. The pig also fits in that position. The ram fits in that position. Even, let's not say Mars in plural, let's say Mar in singular, which is reverse ram. The reason for this is Joey is J10, 2 times 5, O15, 3 times 5, E5, 1 times 5, and Y, the 25th letter. So every single one. And at the end, it's 1, 6, 5, 7. The reverse of Joey is 8, 3, 4, and 2. So it's telling me, okay, a few stories. It's telling me a few stories, okay? And they all have to be discussed, these stories. So I'm not the final word, right? 1657, right? 1657. This 5775, that's going to be the moon right over here, the electric moon, the male and the female. So if it's a male and a female, somehow we have to be connecting or extending. If it was just a continuous, right? If it would be like let's say it would be just a light. The light is shining, right? What do we do when we have piping? Male, female, male, female, male, female, and we just keep connecting the pipes. When it stops and goes female, female, male, male, does it start to talk? What's the story that's being told right now? So that would be with Joey. So I'm going to get back to spirit. I'm going to get back to the April Fool's Day. The fool also connected to the fish, also connected to the moon. I'm just trying to reiterate what I just did, so that February 29th now becomes day 60, to where April 1st, April Fool's Day, is the 91st day. That one, like I was saying, right, is when I'm going to see if I can hold this up. 3 and 1 and 3 equals 7. 1 and 3 and 1 equals 5. 31 and 13 and 31 equals 75. And 13 and 31 and 13 equals 57. So here's these numbers over here. 313 cycles 7 days. 131, possibly the split weekend with the 3 days, okay, for the week, right? Monday, Friday, the 3 days in between, 57, 75, 31, 13, 31, 75, 13, 31, 13, 57, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. If I would multiply this combination, it will end up showing me 19. 19, 1 and 9 is on both sides. Is a separation. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to try to show you something else. And back to 2015. I'm not going to forget about that. Whoop, we got 2112. We're going to still continue with 2015. We're going to still talk about the 91st day. One suit, 91 days. And at that time, they're talking about the fish. They're talking about what happens is it's also the beginning of the first Aries zodiac sign. The 91st day is your first moon cycle has ended, and then you're into your first week counting. What that means is, right, is it's 28 days to a moon. 3 moons, 84 days, plus the 7th day for the moon closing. And now the spirit has entered. We now have communication with the new birth. Because at the end of the sentence, at this time, was not read. The child, okay, comes alive at this point, and only at this point, on day 92. That's when the spirit meets the communication, because of the values of 10-4. The payout is 9 to 5. It's telling you your birth in the E world, unlike the 5 and 9, which is 7 to 5, and that is going to go through the moon. Your payout, okay, for betting on the 5 and the 9 is going through the moon. Okay, the 5 and 9 is on the inside of what is 4 and 10. 4 and 1 happens to be king. 4 and 1 happens to be home. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to that 9. Also going to be connected to the sun and the moon. And this is where your birth comes in. The heavens of birth, 1 and 8 equals to 9. I just wanted to show you this. I think I'm going to go to Orphan Roulette. So I looked up Orphan Roulette, and I'm going to get images. And then when you look at the image, right, see it says orphan? Well, on this side, you get 57, 17, 34, and 6. And on the other side, 40, 54, 64, 74, and then the 175. And they're both said the orphans. So that's your 57, 75. Step number one. Step number two, it's male and female, 5 and 7, and it connects you to the point. I'm going to see if I can get this up here. I wonder if any of my, oh, how do I do that? I think, I don't have a mouse here. Let me see. No, I don't have any of my stuff here. Wow, I don't have my overlays. I don't know why. Just 1 second. No, okay. Okay, just something happened. I just gotta, okay. Okay, so now I got a little sidetracked with something. So here is 7, here is 5, here is 5. 17 is the total. When I connect the next one, the half boxes, the passing through 5 and 7 and 5, male and the female. The 66 shows up over here, and halfway between 7 and 8, or G and H, or the total of 15, the letter O, it's going to connect that 66 to 5 and 7 right over here. Your DNA and your 17 running into Mars, male and female. These two sides over here, both female, male, and back to female again. But once they get to a certain age, this will shift over and this will be female. Male will be 9 and it'll be running down here in between. Coming from where 5 was, right? What is female will turn 9 and it'll become male. The male 9. The reasoning for this is the bar mitzvah and the bat mitzvah, the age of 12 and the age of 13. That 12 moons is 336 days, which is 3 times 84. That 84 I was telling you of the 3-moon cycle that must pass by before the communication birth of the spirit, before the child is even onto this world, other than being the beginning of the receiver for the spirit, which is not ready to receive as of yet. That 10-4 reception through the 7th gate of the 9 birth, coming out into the 8 heavens. Sorry. Just give me 1 second. So that was that. So yes, so the female, what happens is after 336 days, you get the first 12 months, 336 days go by. So it's in this world born onto the 6th day. That 33 is the rotation in the sun, and it's represented at this point by the female. The 364th day, as the operator, it's 0. That's the reason. It's Zion equals to 64. Israel equals to 64. It'll create blue. Okay, it'll create blue. So it's going to create Democrat, and that's only because of the numeric values. So we're going to also talk again what I was saying, 2015, right? I was also talking about 84 and why the spirit, it's 84 plus 7 equals to 91. 7 times 12 equals to 84, okay? Because 8 by 12 equals to 96. I have to understand all these things. When you come to 8, the system is already broken up into 4 parts. At 7, it's 3137. In 2 parts, it's 615243, 7. The 12 parts of the zodiac sign three of them, and the fourth one you start over again. The roulette board has 36 numbers. A yard is 36. We run 3 12s to 36. Then we start over again. The same thing in numbers. The artwork also comes out to the same thing, except when we're talking about 36 numbers, that's only just one basic area. We have to keep 36, 36 until it starts to repeat itself. And now we have our first form of 108 is your first base, and then you repeat at 144 is when you relink up to the numbers, when the artwork begins the same. If you want to change it, okay, there's not really much you can do. You just have to keep redesigning. I'm not sure if you've seen any of my art, but when you design the roulette numbers 1 through 36, you can see easily all the different designs that come out of it. And the core of all the designs, the center of it, right, comes out to a cube. Let's say the black cube, the house of Mecca, 11, 11, 11. Why would it be 1881? This one over here is 18. So if you have two of these, you have 1881. And it's so funny that in the game, they barred the 6. They barred the 66, both of them. These are different. These are different. When I have this, I have 5 and 2. When I have this, I have 4 and 3. This one is going to say H. This one is going to say I. This is going to say IZ. This is going to be HN. The artwork following the dots. So I still want to talk about 2015. I want to talk about the 2015, the 20 marks on the dartboard, the 15 marks, the 15 balls in pool. And note that on the dartboard, we have a 25 green and a 50 red for 75. Is that going to be for our electric moon? And what is it about the green and the red coming out? Because we also have that near Christmas. And it's ironic when the green and the red, I want to write that down also. Why is the green and the red coming out for Christmas? Just ironic how certain numbers come together. I'll be back in a second. I'm wondering if I should eat. I'm a little hungry, so just give me a second. I might put something on the stove. I didn't want to eat, and I have a salad here. I'm not gonna eat, but I'm gonna. I just want to get something very, very little to. Wow, I can't believe they have this cheese here. Just give me 1 second. I'm coming back. I'm just coming back in a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. There's so much food here. Okay, I don't know what it is. I know these dogs are gonna give me a minute. I have to really be careful. So I'm going to be a little bit up and down making myself a snack. And just give me 1 minute there. If you prepare any questions for me, I'll be more than happy. I think it's about time that we have to break it and create that new legion. You know, the legion of truth, that we're going to know the truth because we're going to be able to calculate it. Right? We're going to be able to calculate it. Imagine. Imagine being able to calculate the truth. Yeah, so in about 5 or so minutes, I'm going to be taking a 5-minute break. So I just want to see through whom every God came to be, so much great information so fast. It's helping me. Boy, where's my little mousey to let me see this? So much information so fast. It's helping me stop worrying about things I'm confused about. Sounds silly. A lot going on personally and health-wise. Health-wise, a lot of people need me on top form. Yeah, so I don't have any of my art with me. I wish I'm not at home. I'm babysitting, but I just want to take a look and see if I can. Wow. So let me see if I got. I don't know why it says collections, photos. Never says collections. Wow, they changed everything here on me, eh? Albums. Okay, here I got one over here. This one over here, right, is Fibonacci. I'm connecting the odd with the even numbers. Not much of a design. This over here is what I was talking about. Oh, hold on a second. Let me lock that in. So you can see that here's the octagon, and inside are the hexagons. You can see that there's a ring right over here. There's many rings. You can see the house of Kaaba. See the black house, right? The cube right over here, the hexagon that passes through here. It's the only area where there's two red, two black, two red, one above the other, so it's a straight line. I connect this one with straight lines, and you can do it with other letters, right? Or other letters will form the X and Y when you're connecting the above and below, right? Where is it? Let me just see with the above and below. Okay, let's go over here. See down here, there's an X. See up here, there's a Y. It starts with an X. It goes to the Y. It goes back to the X, and it finishes with the Y. So that 36 number route will finish. What I'll do next is I'll take this, when I continue, I'll flip this upside down and put it at the bottom. So my above and below is going to be a rotation of 72 numbers. 72, 72, 7. I think it's 72. The guidelines is usually 313 before you flip it over. So I'm just trying to, because it takes up so much space, I haven't done what the complete design would look like other than sideways when you can see it this way, where it just keeps repeating. See, I need each one of these lines are the same. Now, either I use the straight line, I use the O, or I use the X. The straight line, the O, or the X, right? I wanted to get to 2015, but I also want to go over numbers according to what we were taught. Now, this is all for entertainment, art and entertainment, and everything we were taught, right? So I was taught you start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was taught it here, right? Or I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's something else I was taught. When I use my phone, it shows me where the 0 is. It shows me it shows me this. When I look at these 3 items, I use this to separate the 9 items. I use this to connect the 9 items. I use this as a connection to the 9 items. I know that inside of here, I can use 1, 2, or 3 lines. I don't have to use all the lines, but this is the way the formations are. I take them as my tools. I understand my letters are tools. I understand my alphabet is a skeleton of an alter reality that we use in this realm for our menial communication that we're always miscommunicating for what purpose of what gain do we get that we lie to each other, and then we take everything away from each other by you being the tax collector and collecting the tax for somebody that might be corrupt, and you shouldn't be doing it. How do we get out of where we are right now? So I think we have to reconnect the Legion, and the Legion is the Legion of Truth, where we all look at it and say, hey, it's a pen. We all agree. A telephone. We all agree. Now, when it comes to, oh my God, Noah had to go 2x2. 2x2 is 2x2 love. What does it mean? So by finding all these meanings, will it tell us there is a Lord, there is a creator? Well, right now, the little bit that I'm doing is going to show you that these elements, when were they created? Who thought about Rubik's Cube? 26 of these cubes in Rubik's Cube, taking up 54 area spaces and colors on the outside, being controlled by a center in the 27th position, and the word is bet. 3 levels, 3 by 27 equals to 81, which is Venus. It's a 6 spindle, a 6 shooter that controls one color. It controls one color, and then the center of its spin, okay, is going to control 2 colors. All the corners, okay, where it spins on the outside are all 3 colors. 1, 2, and 3 colors. There are 26 cubes. Every cube has 6 sides, equals to 156. 12 years times 13 moons, 156. The female of 12 years old into the E world. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 2 equals to 5 BCE. I like to sometimes say Bell Canada Enterprises. The B is also, if it was drawn in the wind, it would look like number 13. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals to 3, and 4 equals to 7. So we now have 12. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 equals to 3, and 2 equal to 5. And we have 13, which is 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 equals to 3, and 4 equals to 7. Then we're going to go one step higher, where 14 is 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 4, and 5, 9. Note that this one over here, this final note, is going to also connect to Mars. It's also going to have a connection to the moon. Same with this one, is going to have a connection to the sun, and again to the moon and AI, the separation of 1 and 9. Understanding 1 and 9, like lightning. Have you ever heard of lightning? Light 10, 9? I'm going to write it down that I want to talk about the 2015. I'm going to go for my break now for 5 minutes till 1:12. I'll probably come in front and show you a few things if you have any questions. 2015, note, is the Hebrew year 5775. We must also talk about the number of moons. We spoke about before, about 13 by 7 equals 91, how Valentine's, the month of Valentine's, which noted okay, I'm going to talk about Valentine. And again, how that spirit, how that child that's in the womb only comes into communication with the spirit after the 92nd day, which is 84 plus 7 plus 1, or 84 plus 8. We have to look, if you look at the deck of cards, you'll understand the 6, 7, and 8 are telling different stories. The 9 has already come to birth. Once you've reached that 92nd day, you're into the next week. The ring and the pole, it's 14 to a ring and it's 7 to a pole. Once you hit 8, you have already passed the ring part. You are now, the pole part. You are now on the ring. Why do I talk about that? Going around is the ring, and the ring is 14. Up and down is the pole. They both have the same numeric value, and that's 7. Even when there's 14 around, it's 14 and 22. Even when it's 7 up and down, it's 7 and 11. If you add 14 and 7, 14 and 7 is 21. 22 and 11 is 33. That is how this is made up with dots. And this is only one dimension. It'll be made up of what is 36 and what is 18. It is the sun cube. Also to note that 18 is 1/3 of 54, and 36, okay, 36 is what is going to be 2/3 of 54. We have to understand how to process our numbers. When we put numbers together, is it talking about the whole result? Is it talking about part of the result? Anyways, I'm going to be taking my little break, 5 minutes. Ring in the pool. We can talk about that. It doesn't matter what it is. Once we put our minds to it, and you want to talk about English and French and what's ironic about certain languages, that in English, I say English, but the French don't say English. They changed the English. They say anglais. And in French, well, why did I say French when the French say it's français? So I have 2 words for each. Why did we have to make up a new word? So I'm going to get with that too. I'm going to give him a cookie, and I'm going to be back 5 minutes, 1:15. Load up your questions. Let's work together, because we have to fix the legion. We have to fix that legion and bring all our minds together so we can drop and pick up and start everything over. Come on, Cookie. Let's go. Cookie. Okay, this here, just give me a minute. You know, sometimes I go all over the place because there's just not so much going on. I have to turn this light on. Well, I tried to turn the light on, but the light doesn't turn on. Oh my God, I made a coffee and just give me 1 minute, and I got to take in. I'm not sure if you're looking out there, but we have Mr. You guys want to go up for a minute? I can't seem to balance this here. Can't seem to balance it. It's going to fall down. What are we doing, guys? You want to go out? Toaster. Yeah, so it might be a little shabby for the next few minutes while I get up and down. Heads up, 7-Up was an interesting game. How come we only played it once at school? Cookie was a cookie. How about the Cookie Monster? Sesame Street, when you say the word in French, it becomes Road of the Souls. Rue des âmes. A-M-E is soul. So I'm trying to think of what it means, ama. We need to decordicate. We need to have discord on understanding our words, right? You start a sentence off. The first word letter was a capital letter. You mark the word head. 7 equals to 65. And the word 60, the number 65 is the 65, or 5 and 6 is 11. It goes inside 4 and 7, which goes inside 3 and 8, which goes inside 2 and 9. Our primary set birth is by the IT system. 9 and 2 through the 7th gate. Every single one of these sides is 9. And here's Venus at the 7th gate. 1 part of the 7th gate, 2 parts of the 7th gate. This is Venus. I like to base everything off of, they told me Venus was the 2nd planet. They told me Mercury was the 1st planet. They told me that Pluto may rest in peace after 76 years. I already know that Mars is 6 and Earth is 7. I already know that. It's just ironic, right? that when I mark the fourth planet, I mark 1V. When I mark the third planet, I should be marking 3 singular ones, correct? 3 singular ones, so different. Everything seems to switch between 3 and 4, and it does. But when I just mark it this way because I feel like it, because the Roman numeral said, hey, here it is. You get a V, you can have 1, 1, 2 ones, or 3, 1. So here is 4 and 6. Mars and Saturn come together as 10, as Uranus comes together with Earth. 3 and 7 to what is 4 and 6. They're different. 3 and 7 is unlike 4 and 6. Your base, once you've had your creation, A, B, C, okay, it's created from 1 and 1. Your 3 is created by A and B coming together. Your A and B come together where? How can I fabricate 1 and 2? I know how to fabricate 3 and 1. 7 times 3, 7 plus 3, okay, equals to 21, equals to 10, equals to a total of 31. I can get 13 from number 16 or 61. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6 is 7 and 6, 13. Now, how can I create, what was that number I was looking for? Sorry about that. How can I create, yes, how do I create 3 from number 11? 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now I have 1 and 2 created from 11, and the total is 3. It just so happens that the reverse cube of 1 and 2, 3 is 5 and 6. Is 5 and 6, 11. Where is that? How come I can see it here? Oh, do you see it here? 5 and 6, 11. This is the 1 and 2. If 1 and 2 create, 5 and 6 are the results. And irregardless, one of them is 1.5, 5 minus 1.5, and 6 minus 2.5. That is where yo comes in. Yo or in boy. The reason for the difference is if I was working with the alphabet, the 25th letter is Y. The 15th letter for O is O. The 51 is Mars, 52 is Earth, 103 total, or how about the initials 103 and JC, like for Jesus Christ? And it's ironic that the total of that, Jesus Christ, is 151, which is 1v1, and it talks about Mars and Saturn. 5 minus 1, 5 plus 1. Also, the 5 in Roman numerals, write these down. The V is a 5, and it's the 22nd letter, okay? The 22nd letter and the 5th reverse in the E world of life, 27. How can I explain this better? V is the 22nd letter. E is the 5th letter. The reverse alphabet is 5 and 22. I already know I brought my life, my birth into the E worlds. I know that 4 and 5 reflect each other on the cube. The 4 and the 5 reflect each other, 9 on the cube. The 4 and 5 reflect each other on the cube. It also is the 10. 5 and 5 and 4 and 4 octagon. I'm just a little lost for a second. Wow, they really so 22nd, okay, is also noted to be bust, and 22 is ape. Did you know that gorilla, right, and Muhammad or Jesus are all number 74? And in the word Muhammad, the word ham is part of the am, the heavens communication. It is without the E. There's no significance with the E with M, unlike, unlike AME in am, meaning soul in French. And it's so funny that soul is number 67, talking about Earth and Mars connecting to Uranus and Saturn. the seventh and the sixth planet. They took away Pluto. They took away the Kuiper Belt. Did you know this? Everything that's inside of this, or how about everything that's inside of this? Is this here, is this inside of it? If this was Pluto and this was the coffee cup, Pluto would be holding the coffee cup. Pluto is the cold blue Kuiper Belt. It's noted to be as a red dog. Its numeric value is 1/3 and 2/3, meaning it's number 84. 3 times 28 cycle moon. 3 by 28 equals 84 cycle moon. 6 by 28 for the 6 days of our birth is 168. There are 168 hours in the week to our 7 days of 24 hours of life living on the value in the divided gate at the cost of that 7th day. It was the 7th day of rest, or was it the 7th day that it was left up to us? The rest is up to us. Inside the letter rest, they also say east, something to do with first and last, talking about gold, talking about a lamb. The reason for that is 2, 5, and 8 says meh. Also, the calculation mathematically will end up being number 8 at the end. It will be silver, bronze, and gold that come up with this. You'll see in another video or maybe a little later on. So we have 7 days of 24 hours or 6 days of 28 hours. And now we're not counting that 7th day of rest. We're not counting the 7th day. 28 and 24 is 52. That is for Earth. Earth's gate, also the Earth gate for communication, because in this, okay, we are going to have the word rabbit. And the count of the word rabbit is both 28 and 24. I'm going to show you this in a second. Six times equals 168. 7 times equals 168. Earth number 52, rabbit number 52. T20, B2, B2 equals 24. R18 plus 1 equals to 19, and 9, 28, and 24. 28 to the positive, 24 to the negative. Note, A is a half-life, because the number 1 gets switched over between red and black. So it's a half-life when you count this number over here. Inside the word, you have both what is the 292, born into the house of bait. Earth is 52, 5 and 2, 7. Mars is 51, 5 and 1, 6. So when we're talking about 6 and 7 days, talking about Earth here, talking about Mars here, Mars is running the cycle of the moon. That's perhaps why we say R-me, Mars backwards, divided by Earth. When we say the word marriage, Mars divided by Earth. Inside of Mars is the ram Bélier, which is the beginning, the first month happening in the 3rd month. 3 and 1 comes together. Think about it. Why? Creation is only in the 3rd month, right? The center, the nut is in the center, taking up positions both 1, 2, and the entire nut is where 3 is. The nut might be 1 and 2, but the skin around the nut is the 3rd position, and that would be the Earth position owning the nut. And then outside of Earth would be Mars, and then outside of Mars will be Jupiter, and outside of, you know what I'm saying? And they connect each other. They're halfway spaces, just like 1, 3, 5, 7, 5, and then 6 would connect both 7. You follow what I'm saying? There's different ways to connect. So Pluto is number 84, right? We can't forget that. So a singular Pluto cycle, okay, would be 3 moons. 3 times 28 is 84. We are going to do that 4 times in the year. We're going to have 4 Pluto cycles. So we're going to turn over into a mirror on the 336th day. And that is the 12th moon. Talk about the female. The 13th moon is talking about the male. Now, let me see where I am now. Yes, I wanted to get back to talk about numbers 1 and 9 again. I think we left that out. There's a bunch of things I left out, but I'm going to go back to, I think 1 and 9. Oh, yes, here. I'm going to go back to this. Okay, let me see if I can point my camera down. Hold on a second. I got to find a way to point this down or turn the camera around. Let me see. Can I turn the camera around? I don't know. I don't know if I can turn the camera around. So I'm just going to show you on the dice. I'm going to write it down. When you add up 1 through 5, it equals to 15. When you add up 2 through 6, it equals to 20. 2015 is the year 5775. So there's many ways to do with reason and explanation. Whether I multiply it by 1, whether I multiply it by 2, but until I multiplied it by 3 or divided it by 3 or added up to a single digit, right? Or find out where my number starts to repeat, it means I haven't completed the science. What everything works in one way or another for something or another. Everything goes somewhere. So here's the base of this. In the year, we're going to go 20 for the darts. We're going to go 15 for the pool. In the pool, we're going to use number 8. Everything connected or divided by or the connection of 8, because that 8 ball. Remember, there are 8 solid balls, and there are 7 stripes. There's 8 solid balls, and there's 7 stripes. When you add up 1 to 5, it equals to 15. When you add up 2 through 6, it equals to 20. 2015, or inside the word T and O, or OT. The reverse of that is going to be L and G. Let me see, LOG T. I don't really know what this says to me. G lot, low GT. Anyways, there's not really much that says it, but the total of this is 35 or 3.5, which is the center of this cube. There's going to be 3 centers to this cube. There's going to be 3. 3 times 3.5 is equal to 105, or the letters JE. 105 is also noted. They don't sell anything. They don't sell 1 3.5. They sell a 3.5. They sell a 7. They sell a 14. You never see them selling a 10.5. They don't do it. Maybe they don't think of it because inside of here it's noted to be the hand of God. 10 and 5. I usually like to think of 10 at my feet and 5 by my arms because of the setup that my feet are pointing forward and I can have more directions to my fingers, but I don't want to talk about that part because it's not a piece in the work right now. So yes, the center of this is 3.5 times 3, so it's 105. 5 and 1 happens to be Mars. 1 and 5 happens to be talking about the division of the 2 sevens, right? The 7 low and the 7 high. When you get the 7 high, the 7 ball becomes a 6, right? The 15 ball in pool, right? 1 and 5 is 6. To the regular solid ball in pool, which would it's going to be a 7. So they become equal on the upper shelf. So the 6 ball will look like a 7 ball. So that Mars will look like Earth. Same thing. 2 and 6, 3, 2, and 6. I'm just thinking about something. So we do that. We come out to this, and the year is 5775. It's ironic. 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. It's exactly 555. So let's go a little bit deeper. For every single year we work in our times is 13 moons. 13 moons times 5775. Look, the same number. 12, 12, 7 and 5, 12, 7 and 5, 12. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 and 12, 47. The numeric value, once it's multiplied and added, is going to be 3 and 8, creation of the heavens, or it's going to be number 47 for the word for beast, for the word time. 74 is Jesus, 74 is Muhammad. 74 is the core of number 5. Add this up. 5 and 14 and 23 and 32. When you add them up, 5 and 14 is 19 and 23 equals to 42. 42 will be that gateway separating the 7th gate. Then you add on 32 to that. And then you end up with 74. 10 less than 84, but I'm not going to get into how to find the difference of another number and what it can mean when there is a difference and what is the maximum difference there could be in order to have any relevance, or it's all going to have a relevance. I'm going to try and explain that after. Dividing something by 3, dividing something by 4. Anyways, so we end up with that number. It's just ironic that we end up with that number. So 47 and 47 equals to 94. It also equals to 85. So 85, okay, is 13 and 94 is 13. So I know it's going to connect me to the moon. I know it's going to connect me to a 313 cycle. I know it's going to connect me to the 3 cycle that, how can I explain this? Everything runs by 3. But let me go on to the next part. 38 becomes 5 and 3, 8, 1 and 2, 3. Monkey, 83. Gold, 38. Club, 38. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 equals to 3. 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 equals to 8. It just so happens it's the same thing for this. Why is the same thing for this? Every single side, as I said, has 9 area spaces. You're looking at the 2 dots. Just know every face is 9. Every connecting face is 10. When I connect this dot to this dot, 3 and 7, or 1 and 9. But each side is 9, 9, 9. So when I use, let me see, did I write this down? I'm just trying to see if I wrote it down. This is 9 numbers over here. If I have 1 dot here, I have 8 that go around. If I have these 2 dots over here, I have 7 in between. 8 and 7 come from 1 and 2. A, 8, B, 7. The house of bait. The divided sun. The divided sun is going to be into 18. The house of bait, 9 times 8 equals to 72. 9 plus 8 equals to 17. In this configuration, the heavens and birth come together at the doorway of 77. The reason for this, or a 3.5, right, is because 1 and 2 come together like a magnet. They create the automatic 3. So my question, does this remain 3-7 or 3-5? Why 5? 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5, becomes 3-5 or 3.5. And that's the center of the cube. See the 7 and the 8? When you have the 1 and 2, you now have your G and H, your number 7 and 8 over here. 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 will create this, your Q gate right over here inside the house of bait. Here's the spirit in the house of bait. And where is that? See inside of here? Sorry, not that one. See inside of here? There's nothing. So where that one is in the voided space. Now, if you'd be drawing this out and coloring it in, the entire background of this cube would be the same color of this space over here, meaning they can go outside this space. The thing is, it's not in this one over here. Here, space is trapped, and it's separated by 3 and 3. Let's call it the velociraptor, with the claws that run in here and the claws that run in here. Anyways, I didn't want to talk about that part. I just find it ironic that in 5,775 years, it becomes this year over here. Now, the thing about this is we're in that time right now. This is the first year of the beginning of the end of this cycle. We're in the Hebrew year 5784. 8 and 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 7 and 5 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. The next time we get into this is in 12 years from now, right? And that will be the year 2036. But it ends, the basic alphabet cycle ends at 31. But it's not like starting off as a child and a seed and growing the tree. The tree is already here. So you have to remove, right, the beginning of the first 6 or 7 days or 6 or 7 years. That would bring us to 2029, in which would be, right, 66 years since the basic numeric value of creation, and that is 63. It's not 9 times 8, 72. It's 9 times 7 equals 63, because you're born into the heaven's gate. 6 and 8, I'm not sure if I can explain that properly. 9 and 8, they continue to rotate. It becomes the same thing. 9 and 8 rotates into 9 and 8. There's only one dimension of that. 9 times 8, 9 plus 8 will equal to 9 times 8 will equal to 17 and 72. And it's just going to continue on that same cycle. Okay, 9 and 9 is 18, 81 becomes 99, and 99 and 98 continue on the same cycle, right? But once you get to 97, the cycle opens up. And the reduction of the cycle, 9 times 7 is 63, 9 plus 7 is 16. And again, we're back into the same rotation. All the numbers that have a 9 in it are always going to recycle in their same rotation, except the results are going to be different. With 9 and 8, it's going to equal to what is 72 and 17, right? With 99, it's going to equal to 81 and 18. But with this one over here, see the 3 is apparent on its own. These two only show up in 1 and 2. This one shows up with 3. This one shows up with 3, 1 and 6 connect together. These 3 is where everything begins. If you note on your telephone, there's 4 letters. This number, okay, is going to enter into the sun system, the IT systems of the sun. This one is going to be, I'm just trying to think if I'm getting this right. Yeah, okay, and this one over here is going to be the moon, the sun and the moon. Let me see if I get that right. That's the way it begins. I'm just going to write this down. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to 5 equals to 4. Okay, and this is 1 times 3, 1 plus 3. I need to explain this properly. This is the 3 equals to 4 equals to 7 equals to 9. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4, okay, equals to 5 equals to 4 equals to 9. 5 and 4 equals to the sun. 4 and 5 is fox. It is 666. And the sun is a divided sun. The A letter, and the A letter is like this, right? It's supposed to be either A this way or A this way, A this way. It's a divided sun. It's on two sides of the spectrum. And I'm going to get back to where that spectrum is with number 19, the S letter, right? The S letter, what happens with the, let's see if I can mark this down over here. Can you see this? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Look at that, right? And then this, and then this. Each one of these created number 9. 1 and 8, 9. 2 and 7, 9. 4 and 5, 9. 3 and 6, 9. But you notice that inside the star is no 3 and 6. So this is the entanglement in that star. Now, if I do this again, and you notice I didn't use number 9, although my result, right, is 9. And this one over here, see the 2 and 9, 11, the 3 and 8, 11, the 5 and 6, 11, the 7 and 4, 11. Here I didn't use the 1. I didn't use the I9. I didn't use the A1. Here is where AI come together, or the 19th letter, S. It starts from off. It starts from, you bring the two together. So in one, I didn't use the 9. The other, I didn't use the 1. But the result was 11. And if you take a look at it, they both create Roman numerals. They both create the dot, right? Because they're alone, they create the dot over the A or the dot over the I. If you're talking about two moons, perhaps it's the two moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos. That's right, the cube moon, Deimos, Phobos. It's like your USB plug-in. So the A and I are bringing two worlds together. And note that when you have 19, you're actually associating A, B, C, and D. Your 1 and 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So 1 is going to be usually at the heart of the situation. But there's a question, right? There's a question. The center position of a cube is noted to be the 1 dot. But the reality is it's in the 5 position. So where do I put this S? How do I associate this S? The 10 and the 9. Lightning. Why is the S and lightning come together? What it is A, B, C, D equals to 10, and then B, C, D equals to 9. So now you're bringing in these two worlds. You're leaving out the A. You're leaving out the A. You're leaving out the A with the when you're using the 9, but you're including it when you're bringing both worlds together, A, B, C, and D, A and D, and B and C. Now I'm going to show you somewhere in numbers where they bring it together. 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 23. It's just ironic that the center of the cube, right here, 111, connects to 14, 1 and 4, A and D, and then reconnects at the bottom to 2 and 3, B and C. And this is your connection. This is your hexagon. This is where the cube goes right over here, connecting all 36 numbers. And I believe there might be another cube, right? But I didn't finish the design, and it's over 10 years. But according to what I see, there's going to be another cube between, I think it's 34, 35, 36, and 1, 2, 3. I'm going to just, so that would mean 32 And yeah, there's going to be another one, I believe, here. 34 and 1 will go together. 36 and 3 will go together. And this will come 32 over here, down here, over to 5, up here, over here, and over here. This one will go 14, 16, 19 to 23, and 23 to 21 to 18. Just to let you know that the 7th inning stretch is right over here. To note that this side, these numbers here, this is the cycle that are run, and this is what we live over here. This is the heart of everything. This is where Mars connects, right over here, right on number 17. The sun connects over here, and the moon connects over here. It just so happens that the sun and the moon connect together, and they cross over through Mars. This is T minus counting. This is where the split in the cube, the 0 point would be. Have you ever heard him start the countdown and say T minus counting? Well, if they're going to T minus counting 10, 9, well, that would be 20 and 10. That's what they're talking about. It says 2010. And the 2010 becomes relevant when you start talking about 80 and 90. Or could it be 70, 80, and 90? Just give me a minute. I have a toast. Give me 3 minutes. I'm going to try to remember what I'm talking about. I have to get my toast. Hungry. It was like 20 minutes I was supposed to do it. If you have any questions, you can talk about the Zodiac. You can talk about the Bible. You can talk about, I don't know. I don't know where the limit ends. You notice in this, there's 4 rows. So the row in the center and the 3 rows, this one here is the center. When it comes to this way, right? When it comes to 4 down this way, see, I have 3 across. This is the one center. Now I got 4 up and down, so it's going to take 2 rows. So here I need to count 6 areas. Here I only need to count 4 areas. That's 12. That's part of what 12 does. Just give me a minute. I have to eat. It's just a little bit of something. Just give me a minute. Ask me some questions. Give me a little bit of time. Talk amongst yourself. Maybe we can get a Discord, TikTok, or something going. I don't know. But to bring everything together, right? To, how can I say this? To if we're gonna stop this craziness that's going on all over the world. This craziness, it's just so crazy. And we're doing it to ourselves. We're collecting our own bills. We're paying our own bills. We're doing everything. We should be holding hands. I mean, yes, there's limits for everything, How to understand the limits? Well, that's coming. Once we understand the truth, When everybody's put with their back to the wall, this is what happens. Everybody's being deceived, The Lord wants transparency. You know what I'm saying? Transparency. We were what we were made to believe. I grew up from the 60s, right? So I know of what from the 60s, I'm not going to say my child doesn't know. My child is only 2 things. One is my child grew up in a different era and learned different things. Wasn't homeschooled, right? Learned too many different things, get a little bit confused, want to go out and try that big science project, right? Pressure, just a lot of pressure out there. Hard to think. It's having a little bit of jam, just give it a minute, 1 more minute. I don't like to put everybody on hold, but and I can probably put out, just give me 1 second, I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking, just trying to think. You ever hear of the word George, right? And the moon and the electric moon, they're the same numbers. It just so happens that Lincoln, right, is Lincoln Electric. George connects to the moon. George Washington, Wash, W-A-S-H. Forget what the numeric value is at, but George equals to 12, 33, 12. So there's a rotation in George. towards the moon, the electric moon. Okay. I want to see where we are right now. Give me a minute. Everybody go to the bathroom. You got to give me a minute. Talk to me. Say something to me. I'm not really sure where to go now. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about the Zodiac. Number 36. Very important. The rotation of numbers starts over after 36. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 4 is 36. So they invert to each other. Do they fit together anywhere else? Yes. The 2 gets a 7 void. Now guess what? I switch it around to the other side. The 5 gets a 4 void. So the 2 and 5, the number to Earth, also will create number 17. 5 times 2 will be 10. 5 plus 2 equals to 7. So it's going to say 17 in the creation of the mirror. Because I created a 10. Sorry to eat and talk. If you want me to stop and just eat, I'll do it. But '52 is Earth. 5 and 2 make things back to what they are. If you cut something in half, 5 is the number for half. So 5 times 4 will equal to 20. 2 plus 0 equals to 2. So 4 got cut in half. Now I take 2 and I multiply it and I build it back to 4. So 5 is even, 5 is fair. Now, when you take number 36, we got to bring that 36 back to the cycle. Now, I wish I can hold this plate up. I mean, my computer, I need to hold it up on something. Give me a minute. I'm going to see if, hey, mother. Did everybody see that? I want to see if I can get this to can't see what we're seeing, eh? Can we see what we're seeing? I can't do it. I'll hold it up to you. I'll do it slow. So I have to remember what I was doing. Did you see the dog get up? Okay. Right. In between 7 and 4 is 5 and 6, 11. That's where we come in. What happens with that 5 and 6 is that 5 and 6 is going to create the missing part. Five times 6 is 30. 5 plus 6 equals to 11. 11 plus 30 equals to 41. Now 41, hold on. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 8 and 6 equals to 14. Six and 4, 10. 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 3, 4, 10. So it becomes now watch this. I take this number, I put it here, it becomes this. I take this number, I put it here, it becomes this. Now, over here, 7777. Over here, 4444. 6 minus 2, 3 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 6 minus 2. Over here, 6 plus 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 1 and 3 is 4. 1 and 3 is 4. 6 and 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. There's more than one way to do this. I bring it to 147 because it's the 147. That's our basic system. 7 months of 31 days, 4 months of 30 days, and 1 month of Valentine's. Here's one of them. Whoop. Wait a second. Here's this guy over here. I'm babysitting. Babysitting. Give me a minute. So that's the reason for these numbers, is because we live that cycle. 7 months, 4 months, 1 month. Number 7 is not just number 7, but 8 and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 9 and 7 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. So you have both 8 and 8 and 9 and 7. You have 1 and 6, 7. 2 and 5, 7. 3 and 4, 7. Then you have 9 minus 2. That's the IT system in the sun, equaling to 7. And then you have 8 minus 1, the spirit in the heavens, equaling to 7. 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 3. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. 7 plus 7 plus 7 equals to 21. 2 and 1 equals to 3. They're all 1, 2, 3. That's all they are. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to stay with the female. And the E world. Just give me 1 second. I'm thinking. When you're working with division of 3, this is the answer. When you're working of division of 3, this is the answer. And when you're working with the division of 3, 3, 6, 9 are whole. The 369 area equals to 18. This is the O world, right over here, here, and here. It's a star. It's a basic star. I have to finish this, and then I'm going to talk a little bit better. Yes, the Cookie Monster. Right. We have a personal connection to the Creator. Who do you think we are? Fleshy robotics. You know, perfect is when you go in one direction. Perfect, and when every choice you make can never go wrong. But once you get the bulls together, each of their own elements going in their own direction, perfect only survives in the harmonics of the orchestra. If we were all born in the belly of, and the womb, in which we were, okay, where am I? I'm getting a little bit tired after 2 hours. So I want to talk a little bit about something I brought up about the zodiac. Did we do the word Joey already? The word Joey, like for a kangaroo, the word name. One of the things I really like about it, it's all about number 5. The J is the 10th letter. 2 times 5 is 10. The O is the 15th letter, right? 3 times 5 is 15. The E is the 5th letter. 1 times 5 equals E5. And the Y, the 25th letter. 2 plus 5 equals to 7. The total of Joey equals to 18. I was also working on Valentine, that it's ironic that February 14th is the 45th day of the year. Ironic, the numeric value for a pass is 55, and the pass is 55 is 11 and 44. You can add up 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 equals to 45. But once you get to 9, you have to leave go 1. So you only count 44. There are 36 and 8 Hanukkah candles lit up for Christmas. February 14th is the 45th day of the year. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6, 14, dividing of the 7th gate. The 29th day, okay, creates the dynamics for pi, 3.141592. The second half of the alphabet begins at number 14, although there's not 28 letters in the alphabet or 31 letters in the alphabet. What happens is the alphabet will just start over again on the allotted number. And there is cycles that run. There's 7 days to a week. There's 28 days to one moon cycle. There's 84 days to a complete moon cycle. And well, it's 28 times 3, 84. That's your base moon cycle. But to close it, right, you need another 28 days. So you're not closed until the, I think, the 122nd day. Let me do this. 3 times 28 equals to 84. 1 times 28 equals to 28. 28 and 84 equals to 90 to 102 to 112. You need 112 days. And then I think, again, you need the 8 days like I spoke earlier on. You need the complete cycle plus the 8 days. I don't know why. I think just to get on to maybe the pole, get onto the next finger. If you're moving on to from the ring to the pole. So it's 112. So I'm just trying to look at this over here, or it's going to be 13. I'm just trying to take another look. The reason for this is once we get to the fourth multiplication, I might just add it to a single digit and see what it gives me, or add them all to a single digit. For example, 28-day cycle moon. So I'm going to have 3 times. So I'm going to go 3 times 8 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. And 3 times 2 is 6. So it's actually the cycling of the moon is showing me 66. Once you get to the next cycle of the 28 days, it's going to show me 85. It's also going to show me that there's going to be, when 6 and 8 comes together, I know I'm going through the 7th gate over here. This is the silver matrix. Number 85 is silver and matrix, the heavens of the E world. This will go with the one spirit, the heart of the heavens of the E world, which is Earth. Now, if you want to see, does it fit in to be Earth? We're going to look at some dimensions here. Hold on a second. What happens is 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7, 5 and 2 is 7. 8 minus 1 is 7, 5 plus 2 is 7. So there's a plus and a minus in this one. 8 and 5 is 13, 1 and 3 is 4, 5 minus 1 is 4. 8 and 5 is 13, 1 and 3 is 4, 8 and 5 is 13. I have to understand all the dimensions when I bring it back to the cycle that we run of 1, 4, and 7. So now I'm going to just go back and see what it was I wanted to talk about. Yes, okay, here's what it is. It's going to be very short. So in my first box, right, I have 4, 7, and 1, right? 1948. Well, what happens if I started this in 1936? So 36 would be 9, 18, 19, it would be 1. So until this cycle runs its full cycle, I need to do this 3 more times. I need to run this 3 more times. The reason for that is I need to bring number 1, 7, and 4 all into these positions. It's got to be 4, 7, 1. Then it's got to be 7, 1, 4. And then it's got to be 1, 4, 7. I think that's what it becomes. And then this one switches. This one will also switch. There's this one over here. And the reason for that, let me show you why, is the rabbit is 1951. 6, 7, and 9 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. 8 and 4 is 12. 13 and 9 is 22. 2 and 2 is 4, right? Here is 4, and here is 7. So why would you say, because anything that runs totals, okay, to a 1, 4, or 7 is always going to be repeating the same thing. Here, it's 40. 4 and 9 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. No, wait, 10, 14, it becomes 5. So anything with 5 will be 2, 5, and 8. So here we have the ox, 1949, 1937, right? So we have 10, and then 10 is 20. So we have a 2 in it. 2, 5, and 8 will go here. So, and there's going to be combinations. The rat is 471. The rat and the rabbit go together, right? They have the same construction. The rat, the rabbit. And then we're going to get the same numbers out of the horse. And then we're going to get the same numbers out of the rooster. Now for the dog, right, 2, 5, and 8, you're going to have the sheep with 2, 5, and 8, right? And but note that 7, 8, 9, 17, the sheep is going to be with number 8, right? The dog, 6 and 4 is 10, 11, 20. The dog is going to be with number 2. So now if I reduce it or increase it, the dog's going to go 2, 5, 8. So when the dog is doing 2, the sheep is doing 8. When the sheep is doing 2, the dog is doing 5. When the sheep is doing 5, the dog is doing 8. This is their rotation. And then the next one that fits with this one over here is when the dragon is doing 5, right? When the dragon is doing 5, the sheep is doing 8, the dog is doing 2. So they're always rotating. In 3, 6, and 9, you're going to get the pig. Okay, let me see, did I get the whole thing? In 3, 6, and 9, you're going to get the pig running along with the snake and the tiger. Pig, snake, and tiger are going to rotate with each other. So now if we're going to be looking for different signs, if they go together, well, 3 times 4 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15, 1 and 5 is 6. So we're going to be switching this one to 3 and this one to 6. And I'm not going to go to 3, 6, 9 because everything returns back to 3, 6, 9. By multiplying it by 3, we bring it back into another realm. Everything is perfect. You mean you're talking about the dogs or the Lord has never left us. The Lord is with us all the time. The thing I believe that I just like to say is that we were put here to live. We were given the guidance, and now we have to go out. Only what we do and what we choose in the position we put ourselves, nobody else. But there's an end to the game, however it was set up. All the strings and the webs, no matter what happens, we have parents, something for rent. I don't understand the whole system, but there's a lot more than exactly this. Is there anything else? Are you still with us, Mr. Cherry or Tammy? Or there's 5 of you here. I can't go to YouTube while I'm on here. Let me maybe I could hold on a second. And I'm not on Rumble right now. You see, let me just take a 1-minute break. Maybe I'm going to finish this toast and I'll warm up some coffee. If you wanted me to stay here, I'll stay. I'm going to show you the, if you want to know, number 33 or number 666 or whatever you want to know. You know, I mean, wherever you want me to take a look at something, you know, just let me know. They were talking about Allah. You know, what is it about Allah, right? It's pretty simple. It's part of the system. It fits into the system. One is not more than another, other than knowing. What can you know better than just knowing what you know? I'm not you, you're not me. If I know the same thing as you, if we all knew the same thing, imagine if we all knew the same thing, eh? Just give me a second. I'm going to go and warm up a coffee and give me like 2-3 minutes. I'm not having coffee. I'm having tea. Give me a minute. Let me finish this. If you have any questions, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to talk about. You know, there's we have 3 points beyond the arc, right? The only time in basketball when we score 1 point, it's when there's a foul. We have 12-minute quarters. 1.25 multiplied by 12 equals to 15. Did we have to add on the 12 minutes? Why 12 minutes? 48 is the representation of Pluto and dividing the day between the day and night. It's 1/3 and it's 2/3. The cube is the same setup. Rubik's Cube is made of 1/3 and 2/3, as much as the dice cube is made of 1/3 and 2/3. It's the hexagon, the same as the sign in Mona Lisa. Have you ever spelled Mona Lisa my way? That's the way I spell it. It's the limo to this place, NASA. They put a rooster on the top of a church. And the rooster's number is 110. Inside rooster says Earth, and there's 2 zeros, almost like there is in moon and ST. The rooster brings 2 systems together. The monkey is with 3, 6, and 9. The sheep, okay, are on the cross. BEH. The horse. Funny that it's number 65, and it's also part of 16. 1 and 6 is 7. Also part of the part of 3, 6, and 9. We are that horse. We are that 6 and 5. We are that 7-Eleven. The snake is number 8. Let me see what else we have here. The tulip and Neptune's spear. There's the 2 barbs in the center, right? Barbs are the jacks. Has anybody seen this? Is a jack. We already saw in the piece before, in the 9-11, when we create 9, we don't use a 1. When we create 11, we don't, sorry, when we create 11, we don't use a 1. When we create 9, we don't use the 9. Well, when I do this, right, we have a dot. When you didn't create the 9, we put a dot in the 9 position. So when the 9 is out, we have an II. Well, let me just show you what I mean. When we create the 9, we end up with this like this because the 9 is not used. When we create 11, we end up like this. Both I and J, the 9th, are lightning. Both I and J, the 9 and the 10, right? The two systems that come together, both come together with a dot. So if we went the digital dot, things would be splitting apart between 9 and 11 through J10. The other thing about this J is that we don't have the cross here. And the only time you get the cross is when the other J comes from this side, coming from this side onto that side. This J starts on this side, goes onto that side. So anything to do with the heart, right? The way, what was I saying? Hold on a second. With the heart, why with the heart? I start on this side, I end up on this side. I start on this side, I end up on this side. The T doesn't get crossed unless I cross the sides. The brain operates one side, and this side of brain operates the other side. I guess that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to work on, I'm not going to do too much more. I have to set up better so I can show you what I'm writing. It's not fun doing it this way. Did you want to see about 666? Do you want to see how the numbers come together for 666? Let me know in the comments section. We also didn't talk about the division between night and day. I'm getting a little bit of a headache. It's almost time to end it, but I'm going to come back tomorrow. Send me an email. Tell me when the best time it is for everybody. And, or if we want to walk away and I'll come back later. I don't even know what time it is. Got to be at least 5 o'clock. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, 10:46. It's early. I'll try to stay here as long as I could. Okay. I'm going to get my tea coming back. Not leaving this here. I just want to see where the dogs are. Wow, it's amazing. They're quiet. Wow. Thanks for waiting up with me. Okay. Let's figure this out. Let's see if I can put this up here. Tell me if you can see that. Hold on a second. How can I hold that up? Oh my God. Okay, now give me a second. I'm gonna do this. So you can see this? Can you see the 58? 58, 74, and 90. 222. 70, 74, 78. 222. 62, 74, 86. 222. 82, 74, 66. 222. 888 total. But if I connect it like this, or I connect it like that, or I connect it like that, or I connect it like that. There's 4 different ways to do this, and each one of the ways will be 666. 666, 66, 66. And then the final one, right, will be 1998 plus 666. So it'll be 2664. So we divided the gate. See, 2 and 4 is 6, and then you go 4, 6, 6, 2. You end up with 6, 3, 3, 6. We have to do it this way. We have to bring it up a level. We have to make it, what do you call it? An average. I'm not sure why I was taught to do it this way. And then in the center here, it'll end up saying 666. But irregardless, so we see what we did here, right? And I want to lift the camera up. I want to see if anybody said anything, if anybody understood that. Oh, you can see? Great. Okay, Tammy, that's fantastic. I'm going to see if I can do this again, Tammy. And you'll tell me if you can see. Can you still see, Tammy? Pretty good? I'm just going to drink a little bit of my coffee. Now, there's other things going on. If I count just the outside, right, the 4 corners, this will be 148 and 148. Okay, 148 and 148. It's going to equal to 296. So I like to go the IT system in the house of bait, right? Sitting on 20, because 2 and 6, when you add up 2 through 6, it equals to 20, becomes the bookends. Okay, it's your 9 birth. This is also in rotation, so you can put this to a 9, this to a 6. Irregardless, there's 2 of these plus the center is 74 equals to 370. Creation of the gate, 11 and 13. The divided gate, it equals to 24. 11 and 13 will equal to 3 and 7. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 1 times 3, 1 plus 3. Now, if I add one more 148 inside of this, right, this will end up to be 148, 148, and 148. It'll be 444. This one here, 148. This one here, 148. This one here. Sorry, did I get that right? This and this 148, this and this 148, this and this 148. So we have 148, 8, 8, 8 is 24 and 2. 4, 4, 4 is 12, 14. It creates 444. And I'm going to have that 4 different times. I'm going to have 4 different stars like that 4 times. It's going to equal to 1776, right? Now, if I did this, right, 3 times, and this, I end up with if I add the center and after, I end up 51.8 or 5180. I don't like to say, but it's part of the Mars system, Mars quarter houses. If I go ahead and I use the inside to this, right? These 2 and these 2, that's also 148. If I go ahead and I do this, I add the 58 over here to the 78 over here. That will equal to 136. Hold on, 136. If I add this one to this one, it's 136. This will be the high side. This is what replaces where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 got replaced with these numbers. But we're going to do the same equation. Where I once had 9, 11, 9 here, 1 and 8, 9 to 2 and 7, 9, I'm now going to have 144, like the 144,000 or 1,440 minutes in a day, right here, right? If this, let me see 1 second. Yeah, now if I do the 11 one, right, this one over here will be 3 and 8. This one will be 152. Not sure if it's talking about Mars, if it's talking about memory, if it's talking about the quarter houses of Mars, because it ends up with a 2 at the end. And 2 is not alone. 2 has to be at least times 2 times 3 times 4. right? 2 times 2 creates the house block, right here. There's 4 areas here. There's 4 areas here. This one is not like this one. This one's going to be 2 to 1. This is going to be 3 to 1. I'm going to explain to you why. I want to look into the camera. I'm going to explain to you why. Is that when you play darts, you know, when you play darts, they have 2 times, 1 times, 3 times. When you look at Rubik's Cube, the corner cube has 3 colors. So I'm going to use it in the same realm and go 3 times. You know what? The thing about the circle to the square is a circle can be created because of the diameter. And when you have a square, you're going to end up with 4 circles, because the only way to start it is to start by a point of departure. And when you have a square, your point of departure are the 4 corners. Unless you draw a house, which is the 4 corners, and draw a line between it, you can't find a happy medium, okay, until you divide up that house by crisscrossing, and that would be the builder's code. All the codes and everything I use are in games. If it was hockey, it'd be the 2-minute penalty. If it was baseball, I would have to think that the 7th inning stretch, or the 9th inning, right? 9 by 4 is 36 numbers. I'm trying to think why I would look at it that way. Is 3 innings, 3 innings, 3 innings. I also know that the 7th inning stretch, I'm going to have 39 outs, and that is going to be where the cube is. I know an expression in baseball is, first of all, it's going to be counting as Mars and Earth. On Mars, you're taking a base on balls, and on Earth, you're striking out. There's 4 balls and 3 strikes before you get the dugout or a result. It's only when 3 and 2 comes about will you be scratching your head and figuring out, is it going to be the 4th ball or the 3rd strike? It'll never be more than 6. It'll be 4 balls and 2 strikes, or it'll be 3 strikes and 3 balls. 3 and 3 or 4 and 2. Do you get the gateway, or do you get the berth, the 9 berth? Hockey is 3 periods. It's on ice. The middle of a hockey game is the same as most sports. It's at 30 minutes. But when it's football, the 30-minute mark, right, you're at the we can't talk the intermission, but the 30-minute mark ends the 2nd quarter. And at the 30-minute mark of a hockey game, you're in the middle of the 2nd period. A penalty is 10% of the period, 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds. And 120 seconds, when you're talking about 60 and 60, 66 connecting to 2 sides. Why? Yes, it's in the house of bait. It's not 1, it's 2. You're not from the inside. You're not running the order. You penalized one team 60 seconds and the other team gets 60 seconds. Maybe that's why it's that way. I'm just trying to think of other sports. The CFL and the NFL. You have 4 downs and 3 downs. Again, Mars and Earth come to separation, come to show the difference. You have 100 yards. You have 10 yards to a first down, where a yardstick, or 3 times 12, will equal to the 36. But you don't turn over to the other side until you get the 12th inches. It's 12, 12, 12. And although you complete the yardstick, you still need to have the other 12 inches, or all you are is standing on the yardstick. It seems like there's 2 yardsticks, one on top of each other, pulled apart, so it sticks out an extra 12 on each end. So instead of 36 inches, it'll look like 48 inches, and maybe that's why we have the 48 minutes in the basketball. Another thing is the mathematics of 22, which is go, which is life, is the same thing as 84. 2 times 2, 2 plus 2 is 4 and 4. 8 times 4, 8 plus 4 is 32 and 12, 44. And that 44 is what's going to divide the day and the night. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 is 1/3 of 24, and 16 is 2/3 of 24. Rubik's Cube works in 1/3 and 2/3. Although the ring, okay, although the ring is 4 sides of 6, which is 3/4 of 6, right? Is that 3/4? Four sides of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 3/4 of 6 or 2/3 of 6, which is 4, right? 2/3 of 6 is 4. And when you have 4, when you have the ring 4 by 4, and that's 16 hours a day, 1 and 6 is 7. And then night is 8. And you have that 1 times, I'm just trying to think of the 1 times 7, 1 plus 7 is 7 and 8 when G and H come together, the queen and the king come together. Let me read what you wrote here. Hypercloids, don't know about them actually. Someone else has been and on the way. You graph the 3 lines that add up to 222. Right. Pyramids. Well, it doesn't only add up to 222. We're going to go a little bit further than that because multiplied by 3, divided by 3, multiply it by 4, divided by 4. When you're talking about number 7, that's the center where you're going to be a half away. There's going to only be one area space complete between the 2 sides. So let me see if I can bring this down again and see if I can right. So I'm not sure if you can see that. Can I come a little bit lower? Well, that's pretty low. Right. So I'm not sure. Can you see that? So what happens now is 5 and 8 is 13. So we're going to go and we're going to write 13. And then 6 and 2 is 8. And then 6 and 6 is 12. And then 7. And then 7 and 4 is 11. And then 7 and 8 is 15. And then 8 and 2 is 10. And then 8 and 6 is 14. And then 9 and 0 is 9. So when we do this again, 13 and 9 is 22. 10 and 12 is 22. 12, sorry, this is 15 and 7 is 22. And 14 and 8 is 22. Go, ape, bust, monkey. You play blackjack. Blackjack is a game as ace, 11, 21. Blackjack, pay 1.5 times the amount. Don't count the cards. All these are 22. Once I add to 11 of any of the 22s, I'm now going to get 33. And any line I run down is all going to be 33. Unless I use 10 and 12, 22, and 9 and 13, 22, and 14 and 8, 22, gives me 66. I connect it together with 11, gives me 77. So my passage of 66, woman, freedom, gives me my 77 of Christ, gives me my 77 of power, gives me my 77 of matter. So the 333 is not going to be much different. Let me look at that. So this is 222 and this is 222. Where's the, I forget where the 111 comes. Where's my 333? Where's my 333? Where's my 333? The 888 of this cube is reverted to 666, and half of 666 is that 333. I forget which way to go to get that 333. Just give me a minute. 444 take away 111. There is no 111. There is no 111. So what? And there's another way. There's another way to this also. There's another way that all these numbers are going to get switched. I'm going to show you what they get switched to. And where did the numbers come from? I didn't make them up out of thin air. They are what they are. You ever look at the name Abraham? Everything has an A connected to it. And just note, in Abraham, it's communication. So 40 and 13, 53, 8. 62 is 22. 66 is 48. 12 is 3. 70 is 7. 74, 28, 39 is 3. 78, 56, 71 is 8. 16, 26, 16, 26, 8. 2 times 6, 8 times 2 is 16. 8 plus 2 is 10. 26 is 8. 86, 48, and 14. 48 and 14, 48. Just 1 second. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 plus 6 is 14. Is 62 is 8. And then you have 9. So the numbers are going to switch to this. When you star them out, right, it turns into this. 8 and 9 is 17 is 20. 8 and 3 is 11, 13. 13 and 20. 6 and 8 is 14, and here it's 18. So it doesn't look the same. I'm not gonna show you what I did. I'll just tell you out loud. You multiply and add and create it into a box of itself. I just want to see. Yeah, so we did that star. I don't know where the 333 is. There's different levels. First of all, I hate with that I'm sitting up like this. The way I got my numbers is I just went the first house, the second house, the third house, and then on the fourth house, I added them up. And it's simple. 1, just like you do A, B, C, D. 1, 10, 19, 28, totals 58. 2, 11, 20, 29 equals to, did I get that right? Yeah, 29 equals to 62. 3, 12, 21, 30 equals 66. 4, 17, 26. 4, 13, 22, 31 equals to 70. 5, 14, 23, 32 equals to 74. 6, 15, 24, 33 equals to 78. 8, 17, 26, 35. Did I get that right? 8, 17, 26, 35 equals to 86. And then it's 9, 18, 27, 36 equals to 90. So that's where I got these numbers from. And as well, there's different ways also to use numbers, because the fifth house, you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But when you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, they're not, I mean, the second 5 will be a 10, which will equal to a 1. But when you're counting by 5s, upgrading, you're going to go 5, 14, 1 and 4 is 5. Then you're going to go 23, 2 and 3 is 5. And 32, 3 and 2 is 5. And then 41. And then you go do this all the way until you get to 100. And then you find different placements of numbers and how you can connect them together through the understanding of A, B, C, D, right? A, E, and I. And in between, it's 4, 3, 2, and 8, 7, and 6. 8, queen, 7, king, 6, jack. and they're going to connect to 234 Earth's healing vibration. I think we went through this long enough. I want to thank you for being here. You have any questions, share this out. And I have a tag somewhere up there where you can maybe go to my TikTok and buy me a coffee, support me more or less. When the two jacks come together, the T gets crossed. It's two different systems that cross that create the cross. And there's just so much. It just never ends. The colors, the numbers, dots and dashes. We just have to come together because it's about time that we know the Lord left it here for us. And how many years do you think we'd have to go back? Is it possible to be able to think that somebody did all this work that I'm finding? Is it possible it was done on purpose? That it didn't need a computer to do all this putting together of these numbers, that it did need a computer? When were these numbers put together? How many years ago? Was it done on purpose that it adds up this way? I'm asking you, you tell me. And it just so happens that the whole thing runs by differences of 4 because we're running onto the other side. 3 makes everything in perfect rotation, but 4 is what changes everything. Peace and love. Thank you for watching. I got to go. If you have something, let me know. I'm going to write down what my email is if you want to, chat it out. But actually, you know what? Just look me up on TikTok. I just started going there a little bit. I don't like all these services, but you know what? Let's just use everything we can, and let's put this whole thing together. If you think my work is pertinent, let's grow this. Let's grow this up. 1963, and the passing gate for that is 66, right? So that's 1929. And for those of you who think that we're in the year 2024, think again. When you write on a check, it means the day and year ending. We have ended 2024, and we are in the 8th month of 2025. In 4 years, we hit that 66 crossing of gate number 8. We're already on the other side. Once we get to the 2026, right? 2026, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 262. 2020 comes again in 26, which arrives next year. Peace and love. Thank you for watching. Ciao.